people have been asking this question. The question on everybody's list is, why was Sowore rearrested? Why was Sowore rearrested? Yes, people understand why he was arrested in the first place, because of the whole protest for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Sowore really sacrificed, brought out his time, his life, his resources to protest for Nnamdi Kanu's freedom. Because of that, he was arrested, right? But then, when he was rearrested, is raising another dust. And that's what we'll be looking at in this very video, because here in Noble Media, we've been trying to dig into the real secret hidden reason. The real reason why Sowore was rearrested after he was bailed. Let's now move on. People still don't trust Sowore. Some people feel before he was arrested that he is working for Tinubu's government. But what do you think? Let's look at this together. Why Sowore was taken to prison after bail? Please, this is Nigerian police talking, though. Because people started asking questions, including here in Noble Media. We started digging, asking questions online, offline. Why was Sowore taken to prison after bail? And the police has come out to say something. This is what we are bringing you here in Noble Media. The Nigerian police force has explained the reason behind the transfer of human rights activist and former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore to Kuje prison shortly after he was granted bail by the Kuje Magistrate Court in Abuja on Friday. So on Friday, before Friday, he was arrested. On Friday, they bailed him. He was granted bail. And on that same day he was granted bail, before he could be freed, they arrested him again. Sowore was initially arrested by the police on Thursday on charges bordering on incitement and alleged breach of public peace. Can anybody tell us whether there is any law in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, against peaceful protest? Can anybody tell us if there is any law against peaceful protest or against protest? Then Tinubu should be convicted and arrested, because he is the father of protest in Nigeria. He staged a lot of protests during Goodluck Jonathan's time, even before then. Sowore was initially arrested by the police on Thursday on charges bordering on incitement and alleged breach of public peace. His arrest followed his organization of the Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Now protest on Monday, despite prior warning from the police. So Sowore organized and led that protest on Monday. On Thursday, he was arrested because of that protest. On Friday, he was bailed. Then on that same Friday, he was rearrested and taken to prison. He was subsequently arraigned alongside 12 others before the Kuje Magistrate Court on Friday, where he pleaded not guilty of any charges. Why? Of course he's not guilty. Why will he plead guilty when it is within his right to protest? It is within his, in fact, if things were working out well, right? The police is supposed to be part of the protest to ensure that it moves peacefully. There are nations that the army, the police helps to ensure that protest goes on. Because if the nation is good, if Nigeria gets better, it will benefit both the police, it will benefit both the army, it will benefit everybody. Yet, Nigerian police is always the tool used by the crazy, gluttonous, merciless, hard-hearted Nigerian politicians. He was subsequently arraigned alongside 12 others before the Kuje Magistrate Court on Friday, where he pleaded not guilty to the charges. The court granted bail to Sowore with 500,000 naira and 2 shorties, which his legal team was working to perfect at the time of the police action. So when he was granted bail on Friday, his team started working towards meeting that bail condition. Before they could even finalize meeting that bail condition, the next thing everybody heard was Sowore was now arrested again. Speaking to newsmen in Abuja shortly after the incident, human rights activist Deji Adeyanju accused the police of violently attacking and removing Sowore moments after his bail was granted. They granted a man. Can you imagine what is going on in Nigeria? Some people are already ashamed to call themselves Nigerian. Some of us outside Nigeria find it difficult to even say, I am a Nigerian. After speaking to newsmen in Abuja shortly after the incident, human rights activist Deji Adeyanju accused the police of violently attacking and removing Sowore moments after his bail was granted. Adeyanju alleged that more than 50 armed officers stormed the court premises, descended on Sowore, and took him away by force while refusing to present a valid remand order. Let's read this again. The world must hear this. Please share this video. Click on like and share this video. Adeyanju alleged that more than 50 armed, they were carrying arms, so officers stormed the court. How can, in a nation, can you tell me any nation where policemen will storm a court? Don't you know that a court is sacred? A court is like a place, it's like a sacred altar. But in Nigeria, 50 police officers stormed a court and scattered away with a man that was already bailed, granted bail by the same court. Adeyanju alleged that more than 50 armed officers stormed the court premises, descended on Sowore, and took him away by force while refusing to present a valid remand order. Please come under the comment of this video and drop a word of encouragement to Sowore, drop a word of caution to Tinubu, drop a word of caution to Nigerian police. Sowore had, and if you're a policeman watching this, tell us, do you approve of action like this? Sowore had just been granted bail. This is what Adeyanju said. Sowore had just been granted bail, and while we were conferring with him here, the police suddenly launched an attack. More than 50 officers violently descended on him and took him away by force. We don't even know where they have taken him, this Adeyanju said. He said the officer who led the operation briefly displayed what he claimed was a remand order, but refused to allow Sowore's lawyer to inspect him, because if you come to arrest somebody, you have to give a court order granting you the permission to arrest him. You don't take the law by your hands. But they did not. The one they presented, they couldn't allow Sowore's people to inspect it. And then Adeyanju said the officer flashed the document, and when we insisted on reviewing it, he pocketed it and ordered that they must go. When we asked where they were taking him, he said Kuje prison. We demanded to see the remand order as endorsed by the court, but he refused. Let's read this again. The world must hear what is going on in Nigeria. The officer flashed the document, and when we insisted on reviewing it, he pocketed it and ordered that they must go. When we asked where they were taking Sowore to, he said Kuje prison. What is special about Kuje prison? We demanded to see the remand order as endorsed by the court, but the police officer refused. He further alleged that during the scuffle, the police accused Sowore of insulting the Inspector General of Police. Pay attention, remember we are saying the hidden reason why Sowore was arrested. The police further accused Sowore of insulting the Inspector General of Police, saying because Sowore called the IG useless, they must deal with him. So is the IG useless? In your own opinion, is the leader of police in Nigeria useless? Tell us without being afraid. If you are afraid, no problem. The lawyer said the officers tore Sowore's shirt. They tore Sowore's shirt during the confrontation and dragged him away, even as his legal team was still perfecting his bail condition. Can you imagine? Can this ever happen in any other country? Can you give us the name of any other country where something like this will happen in the court? A man was granted bail. 50 police officers with arms came for him, tore his clothes, and carried him away in the court. However, while responding to Sowore's rearrest via X, that is formerly Twitter, this is now what the police says. The first public relations officer, Benjamin Hundeyin, said the police acted within the law. They will always say it, adding that officers were empowered to use commensurate force to carry out their duties. How can you be using force on a man that is not carrying any gun? Did they say Sowore was carrying any ammunition? Child. Hundaye, who attached a remand warrant to his post, wrote, except we want to be mischievous, we all know that once court grants a suspect bail, it comes with the caveat that until the bail conditions are met, the suspect remains in custody. So why didn't we allow the conditions to be met? Where it is clearly spelled out in the remand warrant that the suspect be remanded in a correctional facility, not police custody. It is the duty of the police to hand over the suspect to the Nigerian Correctional Service. This is what they are talking on Sowore, who would then process his bail condition. And they did this on Friday, knowing that he cannot be bailed on Saturday or Sunday. So everybody will now be waiting on Monday. And on that same Monday, Nnamdi Kanu's case is also starting. That's on 27th. This has always been the practice. Why should this be different? Also, as law enforcement officers, we are empowered to, by law, look at this man, to employ commensurate force to get our mandate achieved. Okay, remember there are terrorists and Boko Haram people. Police, are you using the same force? Are you using the same force on these kidnappers, kidnapping people here and there? Are you using the same force on the wicked, heartless politicians? Are you using the same force? Are you using the same force to combat cultism going on in Nigeria? Are you using the same force? But on Sowore, who was not with any gun or any ammunition, you now descended on him with 50 men. Tell us what you think, you watching this video. Bear your mind. Tell us your mind on this matter. Like this video, share this video, click on join to become a full member of our channel, and most importantly, look at this important video on the screen. You can see it. Click on it and watch now.